guys, what's up? I'm sitting in the comfort of my home to tell you guys pretty much everything that's going on with the eclipse right now and how much progress that I've made. So pretty much just spitfire some quick clips at you guys just to kind of show you guys what has been going on with the car, what I've been doing to it, everything done so far as I'm watching John Lapid and Craig Lieberman talk about the eclipse. So yeah. Oh, this is my room. If you guys never seen this is my my upstairs palace. So I have all my games and all that stuff up here. It's kind of a mess. And there's my cat. But it's cool. So first thing I did after I painted the engine bay, which is the last thing you guys saw, I switched the intake to the correct one, the AEM intake. So I know they say in the movie engine intake, and I think it is an engine intake, but it wasn't the engine intake that I had. So the engine intake that John Lapid had was a little different than the engine I had currently. So I couldn't find that one anywhere, the exact one, you know, that was used in the movie. So I went to a pretty close route. My buddy Jeremy helped me out, and he pretty much hooked me up with this eBay listing. There was like $40 for this polished chrome intake. I'll show you guys right here on the screen. That's what I saw. So I was like, okay, $40. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to buy it. So I bought it. And then I bought this little angled like intake piece from O'Reilly's. I work at O'Reilly Auto Parts. So I was able to get a cool discount on it. So I bought the angled chrome intake pipe. And then I ordered 2 3-inch red couplers with the little clamps. So I was able to get everything put together, and I already had a red intake filter from my Toyota Solara, so I just slapped that on there and kind of went to town on it. So everything on the intake side is pretty much accurate, and I got a NOS sticker from eBay, slapped it on there. It looks great. Next thing I did after the intake was I threw on an Optima battery, and the Optima battery was like $300, both my discount. It was $100, if not more, a little cheaper. So if you guys are looking for parts discounts, whatever like that, O'Reilly's is a great place to work because you get great discounts. That's one of their benefits. So yeah, anyway, so Optima battery, threw that on there, and then I got the correct K&N air filter, which I already actually had, but I thought it was too big for some reason when I had it originally on the car, and I was like, this looks like it's too big, maybe it's smaller. No, it was actually correct. So I got the correct intake, the correct K&N filter on the EGR system, hooked it all up, as you guys can see. But a little story about the EGR system on the 95 and that the 96 did not have was in 95 they had an exhaust piece, which is like a little solenoid, right? It came off the header, and then it went into a tube, and then the tube went into the intake air box, along with the air intake from the intake manifold. So it had 2 points of connection, and then it was connected by an EGR system. So the EGR system would read how much air is getting in. So it was like a makeshift mass airflow sensor, if that makes any sense. So it was pretty much your mass airflow sensor, but they didn't actually have an airflow sensor. They had a hose that ran into the intake box. So that was your mass airflow sensor, and it was read by the solenoid, by the EGR solenoid. So it's really weird how they did it in 95, but that's how they did it. So in the 96, they changed the whole system to, I think they actually had a map sensor instead of just a hose running to it, which is a lot better, to be honest with you. And I replaced my clutch master cylinder because I was leaking brake fluid everywhere, and so I was like, okay, I need to replace my clutch master cylinder. So I got it for like $16 at O'Reilly's. Great discount on that too. And then I pretty much just took the old one out because it was leaking. I was losing fluid. I was like, where am I leaking from? So I looked underneath the clutch pedal, and it was leaking straight out of the boot. So I was like, okay, that's not good. So I replaced that real fast, and got it all good. Had to bleed the lines a couple times. My gear shift was getting stuck, so that was kind of annoying. But anyway, so I guess what's the next thing I did? I guess I started doing a little bit more sanding. Started making a custom gauge pod out of cardboard and fiberglass. So a lot of these things on the car, everyone's telling me, oh, you can just buy it. You can buy it somewhere. But they didn't just buy it in 2001 when they made this movie. They made it. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So I made the gauge cluster. and I drilled out the holes so it could fit some gauges. I'm still looking for the correct gauges. My buddy Jeremy's got me hooked up on that, but I don't really want to pay some of these people's prices for a gauge that's not even being used. I fitted the bumper even more. So if you guys remember before how the horrible Duraflex body kit that I have on it completely sagged on the front, I actually welded up some brackets on there stuff. So I stick welded a bracket on the, I guess the front bumper cross member thingy bobber. I don't know what the exact terminology for it is. I welded it on there, and it basically held the bumper up. So the bumper stopped sagging. It went from that to that. So I shortened my gear shifter, and that was a lot of fun too, because I shortened it like 2 inches. So it's a short shifter now, kind of. I could shorten it a little bit more. I don't know if I will. I might. I'm not sure. But yeah, shortened it a lot quicker on shifts. I think it shifts a little better that way. So the car's running on E3 spark plugs. My fiance Addie actually got me a new alternator for it. So I got a brand new alternator in the Eclipse. Oh yeah, and then fun little thing. So I was driving the Eclipse down the street one night, a couple nights back, and all of a sudden I realized I hadn't bled my lines very good in the clutch, because I went to go to a stop and my clips wouldn't go out of gear, so it was stuck in gear. And then my foot was in the clutch, and I was trying to get it out of gear, and I was trying to quickly pop the clutch in so I could take it out of gear, but it didn't work. So all it did was just make the car angry, and the car went and then just died. And it's nighttime, and I tried to start the car again, and the Eclipse wouldn't start. And I was like, oh my God, I'm stranded. And I tried to start it again. My phone is at 3% battery, and so I was using my phone for the flashlight to look and see what the problem was. I was like, I bet it's the starter. I bet the starter's not doing what it's supposed to do. I bet there's some misconnection. Sure enough, the little plug that goes to the ECU, and then it goes to the ground on the starter, which basically sends power unit to the starter, except for the battery, of course. But that wasn't connected fully, so it was shorting out. So I pushed in a little bit. I got back in the car, and I tried starting it again. It cranked a little bit more this time, instead of just going choo boom die. It went choo 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 choo, and then it tried to start, and then it didn't. And I was like, come on, and then all of a sudden my phone died, so I couldn't see inside the car. My car's engine is scalding hot, so I can't just reach down in there, and I'm gonna burn myself. I eventually was able to shove it in just enough so I could able to start the car. I started the car, and I just spun in a 360 degree angle, or basically I spun in a 100 degree angle back to my house, and I was just banging gears all the way home, just flying down the street, because I was like, I need to get home before this car does something dumb. And got home, realized my starter was a little dirty, but me and my dad fixed the plug on it. We wired in something new. I made it a little bit stronger and sealed from water. And then we took apart my starter. I started trying to rebuild it and clean it. And then one of the bolts was stripped, so I couldn't put the starter back together. And I didn't have a tap and die set small enough, so I think I was kind of screwed. But then I remembered I had my parts car, which was 8 minutes down the street. So I went down there the next day with Addie, and we took the starter out, plugged the starter into my Eclipse, and then plugged everything all in, and then it fired right up. So yeah, a little bit of escapades going on, a lot of fun stuff that, just doesn't get filmed on camera, and some stuff I just can't get to post because it's there and now, and I don't have a camera crew following me around. So it's just that it's a lot of stuff that just goes around, and you never know what's gonna happen next. So I did the little gauge system with all the flip up switches. So I finally all custom built. I didn't buy anything except for the switches. But yeah, custom plastic that I got from Amazon. I cut it into the shape, glued it onto the old original interior AC parts, and then I pretty much just drilled holes, put the switches on, and then all the lights too. I haven't hooked the lights up too, but I think I'm gonna hook them up to the interior fuse box and one of the fuses. So, or I could just hook them up to my headlights, either one. But interior might be a little easier. I'm getting near that paint stage, guys. But you guys are faithful, and you guys are staying true in the comments. You guys are just supportive and all that stuff. And I see a couple of you guys on Instagram too, from this channel too. So, but yeah, and there's a lot of people right now doing the same kind of stuff as me right now, and you know, we're all just a big community, and that's like the biggest thing to keep at heart. Like, no one's better than the other person. Like, oh my gosh, I had this part and you chose this part. Like, at the end of the day, you know, it's about building a car the way you like it, regardless of it you building it off of inspiration of a movie or something. It's about building a car because you want to build it and you like it. So remember, everybody, just keep it positive. When you see something that maybe you're like, oh, that's not extremely accurate, don't dog them, you know, because maybe he likes that part and maybe he can't afford the real part. So anyway, y'all, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoy my little rant telling you guys about all the stuff I've done while sitting in the comfort of my home. So I guess the cat wants to say goodbye too, so say bye, everybody. So yeah, anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.